Ladies and gentlemen, this is TVP World. You're watching another edition of Military Mind, bringing you news from the front lines. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee. Last night, Ukraine faced yet another massive attack. Russian forces launched 22 missiles of various types and more than 460 drones targeting the Ukrainian capital and multiple other regions. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that the main Russian strike overnight targeted Kyiv and the region, causing extensive damage to residential buildings and civilian infrastructure. According to preliminary data, 6 people were killed and 13 wounded. Damage was also recorded in the Odessa region, where ports and civilian infrastructure were struck. Zelensky emphasized that Russia's primary target were energy facilities. He also noted that 4 Russian drones flew towards the border areas of Moldova and Romania. Romania's Ministry of Defense confirmed earlier reports from the Ukrainian Air Force of Russian drones violating Romanian airspace. In response to the strikes, Ukrainian drones carried out an equally large-scale attack on Russia. Nearly 250 Ukrainian UAVs targeted southern Russia and Crimea. In Myrnohrad, 3 people were killed and 10 others in the city were wounded. Civilian and energy infrastructure in the region was damaged. According to local media, a fire broke out near the airport runway close to an aircraft manufacturing facility. Russian outlet Astra said that a military aircraft caught fire at an airbase, sharing photos and videos from eyewitnesses. The Krasnodar region also experienced one of the most intense and prolonged Ukrainian drone attacks so far, with 6 people wounded. Now moving to the front line, according to Ukrainian military analysts, Russian command is attempting to collapse Ukrainian defenses in southern Vovchansk in the northern Kharkiv region by trying to flank Ukrainian positions. However, after a month of active combat operations, the Russians have only managed to force the Volcha River a long significant stretch. The current operational objective appears to be the capture of the entire northeast of the Kharkiv region, an advance coordinated with Russia's renewed activity north of Kharkiv itself. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian open-source intelligence project Deep State report that Yempel is now almost completely under Russian control or located in a gray zone. Analysts say Russian forces have fully cleared the settlement and have begun fighting for a network of Ukrainian defensive positions along the Civil-Silman Road. Now shifting to South Asia, at least 9 children and 1 woman were killed after Pakistani forces bombed the civilian home in Afghanistan's Khost province. A Taliban spokesperson reported that Pakistan also carried out raids in neighboring provinces, injuring 4 civilians. The strikes came one day after twin suicide bombings killed 3 paramilitaries in Pakistan's Peshawar region. Pakistani and Afghanistan military forces last clashed in October, resulting in dozens of casualties, the worst confrontation since the Taliban returned to power in 2021. The 2 sides signed a ceasefire in Doha the same month, but subsequent peace talks in Turkey collapsed without a long-term agreement due to disagreements over the presence of militant groups hostile to Pakistan operating inside of Afghanistan. According to media reports, more than 120 Russian military personnel are currently in Venezuela, led by Lieutenant General Oleg Makarevich. Makarevich is known for commanding the operation that destroyed the Kharkova Dam in 2023. Russian instructors are training Venezuelan infantry, special operation forces, and UAV operators, while also working closely with local intelligence and communication units. Experts say this significantly boosts the combat capability of Venezuelan forces and makes Maduro's army more technologically advanced. This deepening military cooperation comes as the U.S. actively increases in the Caribbean region. Now, despite its technical limitations, the Maduro regime maintains a sizable arsenal of Soviet and Russian-made weapons. Moscow is using Venezuela as a springboard to expand its influence in Latin America and as a means to pressure Washington. Military cooperation with the Maduro regime aligns with the Kremlin's broader strategy to undermine the U.S. position in the region, giving Russia geopolitical leverage that extends well beyond Europe. This partnership is further evidence that Moscow is actively establishing global footholds to renew its strategic pressure on world capitals. Ukrainian FP-2 suicide drones have carried out a precision strike on the Brom chemical plant and temporarily occupied Crimea. In peacetime, the plant specialized in producing bromine-based chemicals, but After the occupation, it was integrated into Russia's military-industrial network, supplying materials used by Russian armed forces. The successful EP-2 strike sends a clear message to the occupiers: no facility linked to Russia's military machine is beyond reach, not even deep in the rear, not even in Crimea. One of Ukraine's air defense units has recorded combat operations involving the latest German Skynex anti-aircraft system, delivered to Kyiv as part of defense support packages. Considered one of the most advanced systems in its class, Skynex has proven itself in real combat conditions, successfully countering massive attacks by Shahed 136 suicide drones. It now serves as a vital last line of defense, one that's becoming increasingly difficult for the occupiers to penetrate. As Russia continues to rely on mass attacks using low-cost strike drones, systems like these are becoming essential for protecting both infrastructure and the civilian population of Ukraine.
Ціль збита. Падає. Вогонь 11.
Відкрили вогонь. Є ціль ураження.
Вогонь 12.
Застосування. Є ціль ураження.
Ціль знищена. Ціль знищена.
Є збиття.
12 гармата, вогонь.
12 вогонь. Є.
Ціль знищена.
Ціль знищена. 12 вогонь.
Ціль знищена.
Ukrainian soldiers from the 10th Separate Mountain Assault Brigade continue to maintain control of the skies above their positions, and they're doing it effectively. Over the past day, the unit shot down 15 more Russian drones used for fire correction, reconnaissance, and strikes against forward Ukrainian units. Each downed drone means disrupted reconnaissance, a failed attack, and life saved on frontline. Once again, the 10th Brigade proves that the sky above Ukrainian positions does not belong to the Russians. New footage from the Donetsk region reveals yet another instance of Russian terror targeting civilians. In Myrnohrad, Russian aircraft struck residential high-rise buildings using Fab 3000 M54 aerial bombs. These bombs, each weighing 3 tons, are designed to destroy fortifications and industrial infrastructure. Now, Russia is using them against homes where families live, shops where people worked, and schools where children learn. The video captured the moment of impact: blinding flash, a deafening explosion, and a high-rise collapsing as if hollowed out from within. It's another stark reminder that Russia's army draws no line between the front and a residential block, between a soldier and a child. And with that footage, we conclude this edition of Military Mind. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.